Hello, lore heads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the Barbarian King, Tryndamere, who was released May 1st, 2009.
Yeah. We got a little statue of him back there.
Oh, we do!
Oh yeah. Is it the Season 2 World statue, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the one that you had to wait in line for, I think longer than the Worlds event actually was.
Pretty much. And I thought that was a very long line until we went to the Korea Worlds.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They made that one worse somehow.
that line was through a tunnel that cars were driving through, and it was just full of exhaust.
that thing was fucking nuts, man. That was just that was some sort of terrible safety hazard. It must have been, right?
It had to have been.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got the sweet trophies up there, statues up there.
For being
We
the
won
best
Worlds.
leagues.
Yeah, I got mine somewhere. I think they're down in the basement right now. Him and Rise. Sitting down in my basement. That's okay.
Wow, harsh.
Yeah. He's an old boy though.
Yeah.
It fucking feels like it, especially when you look at his. How many lines does he have? I'm not counting the skin.
I actually forgot.
I didn't count them,
Not
but
a lot.
It's less than Cassidon, right? I thought Cassidon was the king, but I'm pretty sure it's less.
Wow.
Well, Tryndamere is the king.
Yeah. Right. Hail to the king, baby.
Till Tryndamere comes around. Or Trundle. No, he's Tryndamere.
They should play that.
Yeah, looking at his soundboard, it's you don't really scroll at all.
90% grunting
a lot
noises.
of grunts, yeah. Mocking shout
Right, that's
effects.
him.
Well, you just clicked on one of them, but what's Tryndamere sound like?
Follow my blade.
That's pretty
Wanted to
good.
get it over with.
Honestly.
Thank you.
This'll be a slaughter.
Oh, no, that was John's quote.
Hold on.
Oh,
That's the only
I don't
one
know.
I
I just
can
had a
think of.
soundboard. I closed it already. I did my part.
Oh, wait, they don't actually say what the quotes are on there, do you?
No,
I can
it
tell you
just-
another one.
Oh, good. Hit me.
I'm your worst
We'll
nightmare.
cut this out.
Or I'll be your
worst nightmare.
something like that.
Or what? Or what, Mark? What was it?
I say, or I'll be your worst nightmare. Something like that. I don't know.
Or I'll be your worst nightmare.
Brother.
Nightmare of yours I will be.
Oh, okay. That's for his Swamp Master Tryndamere skin.
Yo.
That's Tryndamere.
Man.
Yeah, his voice is goofy. I was listening to it right before, because I've only heard his pick quote. I was like, man, it's so silly. It's just so old. It's just obviously some guy, some rioter. Maybe Mark Merrill himself. Who knows?
Right? Oh, that reminds me. How could I have forgotten this one? My right arm is a lot stronger than my left.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic great humor for adults.
It's
Hey,
deep.
Peyton never gets old.
Because he bowls. He's a bowler.
John, 2023.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Tryndamere.
That's it. We're done. Basically, on the Riot Universe page, there's a short story called A Smoldering Coal, a link to the Art of League, which isn't broken. It's like a little page, and I was going to copy paste what it actually says because it was kind of fun, but I couldn't do that, and I didn't feel like typing it all out. But maybe we'll pull it up at some point and read it. There's also A Twist of Fate behind the scenes video is linked. Yeah. They just throw that.
Is Twist of Fate linked?
No, just the behind the scenes video. It's really like a toss up on like who gets the video and who gets the behind the scenes video.
They love that.
I think
behind the
someone
scenes
doesn't
video.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was going to be anyone that it doesn't show up on the page, it would make sense that it's Tryndamere being, I think maybe to date, the only character to have his non-base skin form in a cinematic.
Oh.
I think so. Yeah. At least in one of these
That whole
ones.
cinematic was
Yeah.
also kind of low-key, just an advertisement for the Demon Blade Tryndamere skin they had just released.
Well, I mean, it's also it's a much cooler general concept for a character than
it
just Tryndamere. You can't have him and Garen in the same cinematic. It's too confusing. There's two big
He's just
guys
Garen
with
without.
swords.
He's Garen, but he popped his shirt off. That's Tryndamere.
Yeah.
Hey, they just don't have enough metal to make armor, hon. It's not his fault.
Oh my god, that was really funny. he drinks water from his skin, so that's why he can't wear a shirt. Or whatever the fuck it was.
You're talking about quiet, right? She breathed through her
Yeah,
skin or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Oh, breathes through her skin. Yeah, that makes more sense. You're right. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's yeah.
Fucking idiot. All right, Tryndamere, normal boy in the Freljord. His people worshipped a Tusk Lord, which is like a big, unkillable monster. They used its fangs for their blades, which won't come up again, but they needed to explain why Tryndamere's sword looks like that. So that's why this is at the beginning of his bio. They were great warriors, but when they suddenly had to face some mysterious horned fella, Aatrox? Is this Aatrox?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Like classic, they can't mention other champions by name. They have to describe
The horned
them.
one.
The horned one. Yeah, which some of Tryndamere's people were like, oh, our god, and they bowed down and they died immediately.
Classic.
Yeah. Aatrox fucked them all up. Tryndamere got really angry and tried to fight too, but he was just kind of flicked away. He felt himself dying, but was like, no.
I'm too mad for that.
I'm too... Not today. No,
way,
sir. No way. He was revived by rage. Aatrox also kind of like spoke at him, which at first I didn't think meant anything, but now he also has like healing abilities, so I don't know. I just put a bunch of question marks. So
Yeah, who knows? I mean, that would line up with like old Aatrox, especially like before his most recent set of changes, I guess, which I think is probably what that's supposed to be hinting at. They've got some connection there, but
who knows?
who knows? Now Tryndamere's pissed and wants revenge someday, but first there were some survivors of his clan to take care of. There wasn't really anywhere to go except towards Ash and the Avarosans. They looked kind of pitiful when they got there, though, so Tryndamere said he'll duel anyone to show how tough and cool they are. Not making this up. That's
You're not
literally.
gonna believe how many wine coolers I can smash. I'm so fucking cool.
He said they looked like beggars, and he's like, "Oh man, we can't look poor. Let me beat everyone up."
I can't even afford a shirt.
This reminded me of Jax and like his solution to trying to find people. He's like, "I'll eat eggs and fight them."
I'll kill people until I can find someone I can't kill.
He anger won all of his duels and had like this unnatural healing, so the Avarosans accused him of scripting. Just a weird magic, which she does have. Ash, though, was looking to settle down. You know, she saw that big beefy boy and she was like, I got this. She wanted a political marriage, what really does not make any fucking sense here, but okay, Riot, whatever you have to do to explain what's going on. Mike, you know we're recording. Shut up. Stop messaging me. So Tryndamere became Ash's bloodsworn, and over time, they've grown to care about each other. Tryndamere believes that she is the reincarnation of Avarosa. There's like this closing line that he still wants vengeance, so his place might not really be by her side. And that's the end.
It'll be by her side. They're never gonna write anything.
No.
Tryndamere.
Tryndamere gets no more lore.
Yes, off into the sun. Yeah. Unfortunately, right. That's like the thing that loomed over me when I read this thing. Is like it doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Yeah.
You're never gonna write anything for Tryndamere.
Right. Also, what are you gonna do, Tryndamere? It's fucking Aatrox. We know who wins that.
Quite
that
literally,
rematch.
it said that he just like punted him like a football. Like it wasn't. They didn't fight each other. Aatrox was just like, "What the fuck?" Like that was their fight. So I don't know. He's not like He's not preparing or trying to figure out what Aatrox is. That would make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
If
It was
he's
like
like, hey,
a
can we
Zorro.
find out what the hell, like, we have enough to worry about in the Freljord, and then, like, a demon came out of nowhere and just killed all of us. Not from here.
Yeah.
What was he doing there?
Hanging out.
Hanging out.
I actually have that question in my notes too.
Aatrox, but he lost? Are you okay?
Yeah, because they said there were Noxians to the south, Frostguard to the north, and the Dark Figure had come from the east. But, like, I looked at the map. The only thing that is east is, like, more Noxus. So, like, unless they mean really, really east, and then you hit Ionia, either way, where the fuck were you, my bud?
Maybe he...
If you were in Ionia the same time as Varys was looking for the other Darkin, man, egg on his face.
There, you know what? It's a lot harder to find Darkin than you'd think. Tryndamere's got sitting around with his dick in his hand. Like, I don't know where that Aatrox guy is.
That's his sword, Mark. Damn.
You think his right arm gets so strong? Come on.
Bowling
He
nights.
does hold it like that, though. Why does he... All right.
He just like to show it off, wave it around. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, so when you're reading this, did you not get the sense of like Tryndamere is the guy who's like his girlfriend is really into tabletop, and she finally convinced him to play a campaign, and she's like,
Yes.
you don't have to do any cringe role playing. You can play Barbarian. They're super simple, and if initiative isn't rolled, he's dead to the world, right? Which extends to the short story, by the way.
It does. It literally does. He's literally like glazed over. If there were cell phones in the world, he was looking at his cell phone until they had to roll initiative.
Oh, we're not fighting? Okay, whatever.
Gotta check out the gram.
Right.
Ooh, Charisma, sorry. I can't help.
This isn't even that like cheesy first, RPG.
It's not the talent
first D&D character. No, it's the I didn't want to play this game, but I love my girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, what's my motivation? Who's the villain in my backstory? I don't fucking know. DM, you fill that out,
Yeah, he's
Write
just
something.
some guy. Killed my family. I don't know, man. Now I'm mad.
And the DM was like, oh, Aatrox from our last campaign. I'm going to drop Aatrox and all the players are going to lose their minds. But he fucked up and put it in the backstory of the guy who doesn't give a shit. So he hasn't pursued it at all. Oh, man.
Yeah, that is what it feels. I want to like him, but it's all very dull. And angry men are, they're not my favorite.
Yeah,
Calm down.
But they're unique, and you don't see many of them.
Right?
Is the thing.
That's true. I never have encountered an angry man in my life. He punches holes in the walls, and I don't want to deal with it.
Fuck, man. Yeah, like I don't know. Lots of times I'm pretty forgiving about potential. Like, I guess there were two things that I did kind of like. One is that he was so super mad about Aatrox, but was willing to help people first. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
that's a little bit of a some aspect of his character, because there's like almost nothing about him as a character. And then I did like him showing up to the Avarosan camp, and he just starts dueling people. Like, imagine some old sentry like, oh yes, welcome, and he just socks him. Like, who's next? So much so that it's like fucking things up. He's trying to make things better, and all the Avarosans are like, this weirdo showed up and is fighting everybody, and he keeps healing, and he like, it's fucked up.
This is where Street Fighter 6 got the idea that you can just walk up to anyone on the street and punch them to initiate a duel.
I guess technically it does initiate it. But yeah, I always like the dumb bluntness of like that was his problem solving. The extent of his like, how do we fix this? I don't know. I'll just fight people until things get fixed. That's how it used to work. Made sense. Makes sense. And yeah, that line about them not having the materials for armor, so instead they make swords which are also made out of the exact same material.
And if you look at Tryndamere, what they also make is like skirted leg armor
and cool fucking helmets.
I feel like that's such a problem I have with the Freljord, is how many people are just like, you're dead. Like, it's so cold there. I can let it go for the Iceborn. It's hard because it feels like an excuse to put Ash in a cute little miniskirt, but I'll let it go.
Sure.
But everyone else, you need layers. It's really taking me out.
Well, we can only assume
he just permanently heals himself.
Yeah, that must suck.
Frostbite's
that sounds
over.
new.
Right, it looks like it sounds kind of like Trundle with him, like his skin sloughing off and him just constantly regenerating over it. Tryndamere is in a permanent state of frostbite that's just healing over itself.
Honestly, I would like that if they got into that.
I don't. But just give him a sweater, and we don't have to worry about it.
A nice wool knit. Yeah, that's also good too.
Yeah.
So to your point, by the way, I fucking loved that. So seeing an opportunity in the handsome barbarian. You know they just added handsome for Mark. I'm sure of it. I don't think that ever comes up in anyone else's bio. Oh, and by the way, he's very handsome.
He's a very attractive man.
Tryndamere has a lot of business savvy, and he's good at sports, and he's got such a high IQ.
He's an
His dad's
inspiring
really proud of
CEO. Yeah. I mean, even in the short story, they're like, yeah, he's strong and he's tall. But, you know, he's kind of a dullard. But, fuck.
Yeah, that is funny. Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have much else for the bio. It's so simple. It's so, like, it made me think of, like, you know, very JRPG, where, like, I really wish Tryndamere had, like, left the village and come back to find it all fucked up, because it would just be like, perfectly fit the trope, right? I left for one thing and everything's fucked up.
There was there was a line here that unlocked something for me. When Aatrox kind of attacked things, I said, the dark figure swatted him aside like an insect. Do you remember the old player support tool before we got real champion names in it?
Oh, Dark Champion?
Because for the longest time, we didn't get the champion names in the player support tool, so we had to know what champions were called in the back end, and a lot of it made sense. There was, like, you know, the Cryo Phoenix, obviously, we knew who that was, and, like, you know, the Monkey King, we knew who that was, but then Tryndamere was just the Dark Champion for some fucking reason. And it took me forever to figure out who the hell that was supposed to be.
Yeah. That's always fun. Man, good times.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's pretty much all I had for this one. I've been watching One Piece lately, the live action show, and Aatrox fighting Tryndamere gave me such Zoro versus Mihawk vibes.
Totally.
Right? I watched that show. I watched all 3,000 episodes of the anime. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you guys get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, as we'll see with, like, the One Piece we have, he's
the One Piece.
Hey, there it is.
I thought that was intentional.
Me too.
No. Just happy accidents, right? Like, we don't ever get in his head. It reminds me of, like, Jarvan, where we don't get in his head. And there are little bits that could be interesting, but I don't really know where he's at. He doesn't, like, he even has these connections. Obviously, he's supposedly in actual factual love with Ash, like they love each other technically or whatever. But there's never anything about their relationship. And I think, like, as we'll see from that short story too, is, like, I have trouble seeing that working, because he's almost like a weirdo sometimes too, because he's like completely dull, quiet, and then he brutally kills somebody, and then he's just back to being, like, just sitting there on his phone or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, to your point too about the whole political marriage thing. So the point she chose, or the reason she chose Tryndamere specifically for the political marriage, was there were, like, a ton of different clans that are part of her encampment, and she was worried that if she chose any one person from those clans, then all the other clans would be pissed off that they didn't get chosen. So instead, she just chose some fucking rando who happened to be handsome.
Yeah,
like, as long as they're all pissed off, it's fine.
I remember this, but this is all stuff that comes from her lore. Like, in here, it paves over it, right? And in hers, it was sort of the point also is that she needed someone who would not get killed, because the husband dying would be a big fucking issue. So it's like, hey, what about this guy who can't die, kind of, or whatever. So,
and, you know, I kind of like that, because Tryndamere, if we're getting this partially from his point of view, you know, he wouldn't know that that's why he was chosen. He would just assume it's because he was handsome.
I'm so badass.
I fight so good.
I would kind of love that, honestly. I would love them to play up that more. I just want a quiet story or something of them talking and, like,
interacting at all.
Yeah. In the same scene at all could be nice, right? Like, I really don't like it when the bio has to tell me, like, oh, don't worry, they actually like each other. It's like, okay, if you say so. I don't
They're
fucking...
super duper in love.
Right.
Don't even worry.
They're never
about
in
it.
the same place at the same time, but trust me.
Hey man, I guess that's how you make a relationship work. Am I right?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I love you so much. I'd be so sad if we're literally always together, John.
By the way, this was by Ariel Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah.
And A Smoldering Coal is by Roy Graham, who I do not recognize.
That didn't
name.
sound familiar. I saw Graham and I was like, oh God, it's going to be so long. And then I realized it wasn't Graham McNeil. It was Roy Graham.
I kept wanting to read the
Which
title.
we've also probably read this, I think, for Ash, but I'm not positive.
We did. Well, I remember we talked about it a tiny bit because we were trying to understand Tryndamere a bit from the perspective of her, I guess.
Joke was on us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
remember when we were like, maybe when we get to Tryndamere, we'll learn more.
Oh,
No, we covered it all.
Yeah, I know, right? That was the other thing I was going to say is the fact that he buys into her being the Avarosa reincarnated. I thought could be an interesting thing about their relationship.
Yes.
Because she is not into
Especially
that at
because
all.
she doesn't believe that. So, yeah.
It feels like that'd be a point of tension for them, and I would like to see that, but whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the Smoldering Coal.
But they'd have to be in the same room for that.
Yeah. You know
we
what?
have to see Tryndamere have a conversation with somebody, which we also haven't seen.
You gotta walk before you can run, I guess, is what we're saying. We're saying. I kept reading this as the Coldering Smole. I don't know why. I did like this story, I will say. It's a shame. It's almost a shame it's about Tryndamere. I mean that in the nicest way possible. But yeah, it's told from the perspective of, I guess, one of his like bodyguards. It seems like they've got just, you got your little guards or Praetorian types who kind of are assigned to you. And then there's this one who's assigned to Tryndamere, and it's kind of in the present, and she's just kind of like looking at him, and it's like he seems so like boring, and like for all the things you've heard about him, his eyes are like dull and flat, like an animal's, like a cow just sitting there chewing cud. But she remembers this one time where he popped off and doesn't ever want to think about it again. And so we go back into the memory of it. And so what was going on is Ash, funny enough, Ash was out of town on war business. And Tryndamere was holding down the fort, and he has to do his boring, this was at the session where, like, for some reason the girlfriend couldn't make it, so he, has to sit there and do boring political stuff and hear these, like, farmers lecture him about goats and shit, which he seems to be taking pretty well. And in bursts this war mother from one of the Avarosan tribes who is super duper mad because Ash has taken, she's taken 1 out of every 3 available hands to go do her war banding. And so that left this other tribe kind of short-staffed. And then the Winter's Claws showed up and fucked them up. And this is actually the tribe that our narrator character, I didn't write down. I kept wanting to say Sligu from the last episode.
It's very similar to Sligu. It's like Sigu or Siga.
Sigma?
Yeah, it's so close.
The Sigma War Maiden Grind set is... she's from this tribe, and she's finding out that they got fucked up, that I guess maybe her parents lived, but a lot of them have been killed, and they've come to get revenge. They don't want help or to bring their survivors to this camp. They want blood for blood, and since Ash isn't here, I guess I'll kill Tryndamere is the war mother's perspective on it. Now Siga steps up to try and protect Tryndamere because that's her job. She gets easily bested, and as the killing blow is coming, Tryndamere steps in and catches the blade by hand and is like, no, don't fight. We don't fight. Avarosans don't fight each other. We protect each other. But the war mother is not having it and starts to swing for him, and it kind of the scene kind of cuts, and we're back to the present. This was like a couple years ago, and Siga is sitting there just kind of like thinking, I was so foolish just thinking about her screams and seeing what he did to her. I can't believe I ever wanted to see him, unleash the beast, get lost in the sauce, right? Like, some coals are best left smoldering, and that's where the title kind of comes from.
This was the story equivalent of a cinematic that ends with a freeze frame of a fight that's about to happen, but you never get to see.
That's true. I do kind of like not getting into the details of it, and just like the way she describes it in memory of like just the edges of it, like the way she screamed, and the look on her face when whatever he was doing to her happened. It's like it leaves a lot to the imagination, which I like in this instance. I think because like Freljordians they're really like they're not squeamish, right? They get that it's like life sucks and it's really brutal. So when you're doing shit, you're killing people in such a way that like these hardened war maidens are like, I don't know, man, that's fucked up. I don't really want to ever think about that if I can avoid it. It's like, that's kind of interesting, you know? And it feels like that'd be something that like, what was that conversation like when Ash got back? It's like, hey,
yeah, it's
what went on when I was out.
Right? It doesn't fit. It super doesn't fit for me. I don't know.
I think this would have been very cool if it were actually a longer story with smaller bites of the flashback with like bits from the present continually triggering her back to whatever horror had been unleashed on the War Mother. I think that would have been
It could be cool interesting to see if Tryndamere, had changed since then, because maybe that was a big problem for him and Ash, and maybe now he would handle it differently years later. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that, or like, again, I think I agree that making it longer would probably help. It's so hard because it's like, I think in isolation I like it, but you immediately start thinking again of what happens when Ash shows up, and it's like, well, I plucked her eyes from her head, and that was just the start of it, and it's like, I don't know, that's a really hard thing to like get
right
past.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's so handsome.
He is tall. Okay,
and
let's
tall. He has no shirt. Oh my god, I can change him.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. Like you said, I could. There's more you could do with it probably to help make it feel more reasonable. By itself, there are things I like about it, but
yeah, on its own, it's a good story, but just Tryndamere as a whole doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree. He's so simple in his construction. He doesn't really have any interesting hooks. Certainly nothing developed, and he feels like he's really awkwardly kind of positioned. Like, what's he doing now? He's just hanging out with Ash. That's literally all he does. Like, he has a motivation even, but seems to have no impetus to like pursue it. And like we've said, Riot's not going to do anything with him. So like, it's hard to get into him, I feel like.
Yeah. I also loved the opening line of this, and I realized that Freljord is probably something kind of like an Alaska type situation where this would
because it's like cold.
Be
I get it.
A relevant line, but the opening line was, "This far north, the nights are dark."
It gets dark at night there. What?
Also, the water is wet.
The snow is cold this north.
They don't have a ton of book learning going on up there. Okay, they're good at other things.
Plucking eyeballs out.
Yeah.
Or whatever he did.
And bum ripping.
Right.
Oh, bum ripping. Oh my god. I forgot we were talking about Trundle, and I was like, oh my, what did he do to her?
Gave her a wet willy. Fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was this story.
Let's not call Wet Willie's bum rips, though.
Well, I was thinking they're different things, but yeah.
I was thinking, bum ripping is like he Dutch ovened her or something.
Yeah.
After the pluck dies, though.
Like
the really.
She's like, what's going on? I can't tell, but it
wounds.
stinks in here.
Oh god, what is that?
Go back to the eye gouging, please. Fuck. Yeah.
It's like if Adam Sandler tried to write a torture scene.
What are you doing? Trying like. Oh my god.
So he's also mentioned in a few stories.
Yeah, is he? Yeah.
We mentioned the Frost Archer, where we learned all about that.
That Ash.
I do love how she describes him in this. An impoverished vagabond from a mountain clan that had been nearly wiped out.
Oh, well.
He's still my beating heart.
My heart, yeah.
Are those flies buzzing around him? I see. Oh.
Did he just eat one?
Something.
I love it.
And then he shows up in the Heart of the Freljord too. This is where we learn that during one of his duels, Tryndamere got lost in a rage, and then Braum intervened and just kind of let Tryndamere hack on his shield a bit until he got tired, and the rage subsided. And then they became friends, and Braum is actually the one who introduced him to Ash.
That's another thing that just doesn't feel...
Yeah.
It feels weird that you would see that and be like, I gotta get his number, right? And then Braum would be like...
I've got someone perfect for you.
Right.
Right. Now look, he does fly into a murderous rage that you really... the only thing you can do is just tire him out, right? You just gotta... just gotta run around.
That big ice arrow is not gonna work.
Yeah. God, speaking of that, it makes me think that, like, just even from a gameplay perspective, Olaf fits this undying rage berserker thing way better, both in lore and, like I said, in his in game and his gameplay. He kind of hits that fantasy way more of like this big steam train who's just gonna run at you until one of you is dead. Tryndamere does the opposite, man. He's just gonna run away from you until he can two-shot you. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a comic about his undying rage too.
Okay. Like one of yours? You trying to say? Do you mean?
Yeah,
one
of
that he wrote.
mine.
Yeah.
It was Tryndamere. You know how sometimes you'd have those, like, I say you, probably none of us have been a part of one of these auctions, but I've seen the auctions in sitcoms. You'd have auctions for, like, auction off a date or something like that. And it was Tryndamere, and nobody was bidding on him. And then the caption was, turns out that after people found out how long his endless rage lasted, no one was interested in his night of endless lovin'.
That's like a Far Side comic.
Thank you. It's the
I like where
biggest
your head's at,
compliment I've ever gotten.
Fuck me.
Anyway, got some old lore for us. I don't think we have any other thoughts on canon, except there's the tiniest amount of potential, and he doesn't really work very well.
Yeah, you could probably pick anything and write something or do something with him, and it could maybe work, because it's like the bar is pretty low and it's such an open field. Go nuts.
Yeah.
Canvas is blank, right?
Well, we got some old lore, a lot of Journal of Justice. He's in a handful, but man, people have a lot of questions about him.
I know. I read through them and I found them all to be very. The thing is, he doesn't even have the good sense to have like crazy interesting old lore. It's also fucking boring. At least I found it to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it just different variations of he's angry and also he marries Ash?
Not even that. It's different variations of boring political shit. Of him going to
that's
functions
worse.
and making statements and all sorts of crap.
It's like when Star Wars gets political and you're like, ugh.
Bring back the lightsabers.
This is 3 scenes in a row.
I don't care about your trade disputes.
Yeah, seriously.
Well then, let me introduce you to old Tryndamere. There was a legend among the barbarian clans of the Phyrone Flats.
The Phyrone Flats.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
No,
that
that's
area.
his, like, a cappella group name.
That's really good.
No way.
Oh, God.
And if it's not, it should be.
It should
You're
be.
welcome, Riot. There's that skin line for you.
Oh, fuck yes.
Well, the legend there told of, let's see.
He's got the Ouroboros birthmark.
It was
right?
told each time one of their own was to give birth. It was a story about a child who would enter the world with a distinctive mark on his belly.
Oh.
A black circular rune resembling a snake coiled over on itself, biting its own tail, which, yeah, like you mentioned, is an Ouroboros, though it's never referred to as that.
They didn't know what that word was when they wrote this. I'll say.
Do you think Mark Merrill has this tattooed on his belly?
Oh my God,
so.
you're absolutely right. Yes.
He must, because we never see Tryndamere's belly. This is a useless bit of information. His belly's covered in every iteration.
And I've never seen Mark Merrill's belly, so...
Quit hiding, Mark. Show the world.
Mark Merrill, lift up your shirt. Just a little.
But yeah, it was said that this would signal the beginning of a new era, and the barbarian tribes would rise up under the banner of the serpent-shaped rune, and they would rule the world. And so, that was Tryndamere.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be wild if it was someone else?
Tryndamere's brother, Tryndamere.
Honestly, I think that would be more interesting.
That
Maybe
would be
he's like,
way more interesting.
yeah, he's like the one barbarian who doesn't want
now.
to smash the world or whatever.
So he was born, and then the barbarians kind of went off on a rampage.
Yeah, this is pre-league,
They kind of said that this
right?
would be under the banner of Tryndamere. But I mean, he was still a baby when this happened, so who the fuck knows?
They just painted the baby.
Yeah, maybe it's just an excuse. That would be good too.
It's definitely just an excuse.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like that a lot. And then he has to grow up knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of
he's
like
probably
that.
blamed for it. Like a lot of people would blame him for this
That'd be cool.
slaughter that he had no part of. Ooh.
This was technically after the league, though.
Oh, okay.
They said the child grew up to be a formidable warrior, and now here at the Institute of War, he's prepared to unleash his barbaric strength and take his place atop the world.
As a weenie in the League of Legends.
It's a weenie. Fucking hell.
He said it like that.
I was curious because
That's how I talk.
I've read other versions, and I think the other versions are more what the Journal of Justice works off of, right? Or like his tribe, or maybe not. I don't know, because it seems like the barbarians aren't fucking up the world that much, and
I know, right?
they're much more like
this was the very old version. I think there's a version after this too, where like a bunch of people died, and he got stuck under the bodies of I think his parents or some shit like that.
Yeah, this is here.
Classic.
Yeah. This is,
Yeah.
Look, this is like just proof that like they're really not starting from a strong place with the Tryndamere storytelling, right? Before it was either Noxians, and then they changed it, I think, to be Aatrox after Aatrox got added into the game, who was the one who killed all of his family, right?
For some reason.
Because killing stuff and things.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he shows up in some Journal of Justice too. So first of all, issue 3, Tryndamere and the Barbarian showed up to pay respects to Princess Movole of the Ice Dervish tribe. Princess Lysandra was next in line to run that tribe, and she, Ash, and Trynd met for a private dinner.
Oh, a threesome.
Oh. This was during a massive Noxian initiative called the Barbarian Pacification Campaign, which Tryndamere was supposed to be leading the resistance to. And one of the interviewers was like, "So, are you worried about the rest of the barbarians kind of doing their thing without you now?" And he was like, "I don't know why people are so curious. Freljord is a lovely place. The air..." Wait, no. Oh, no. That was after. He said, "Save your worry for Noxus." And then asked why he was there in the first place. He was like, "I don't know why people are so curious. Freljord's a lovely place. The air has the kind of sting we barbarians can appreciate. Besides, would you decline an invitation from the Frost Archer?"
I love your Tryndamere.
It got a little piratey there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been watching One Piece.
You can't blame everything on One Piece, John.
Can and I will.
Look, barbarians are just the pirates of the land, okay? Let's make that clear. I like the idea they asked about that, and he looks up, the what now?
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. That's super important, right?
Oh, no.
And then immediately afterwards, issue 4, Ash announces that she has allied with the barbarian tribes. So the barbarians now have sanctuary within her lands, safe from the Noxians. And in return, he protects them with his armies against the Winter's Claw.
Okay.
No pairing yet. They're not married or anything. So don't rush them. They need time for this relationship to blossom. All right, this is only issue 4. There's also a mailbag of justice here. I'd like this question to be forwarded to Tryndamere. Where'd you get your sword? I'm assuming that you built it with your own bare hands, and perhaps it was a gift. Did someone give that sword to you because it was too dangerous to go alone? Oh no, wait.
Gamer
Sick
jokes.
reference.
Here's another one. Tryndamere was kind enough to oblige with a reply. My late father gave me the sword I now wield. My father's father gave it to him, as did his father before him. As a boy, I was curious about the sword, much as you are now. I remember his words well. Master using it, and you can have this. Another Zelda sword reference on that one.
Great.
Mastering it requires more than just physical strength. Strength of mind and strength of character are also needed. I must exercise all three, especially now in these trying times.
3,
So, you know.
like a Triforce, perhaps?
And Tryndamere, noted strength of mind and strength of character.
Right? Certainly did not have a dump stat that was like charisma or anything like that. Yeah.
This just sounds like fucking Iron Fist.
I was thinking Iron Fist.
I've been training years to control my emotions. And he just fucking flips out and rages all the time.
I'll have to watch that sometime because every time you mention it, you always mention that, and that idea is very funny to me. I will say
It is very funny.
It is funny, but
I wish it was better.
yeah, it gets old
Or
real
worse.
quick. Although if you're like watching it with someone and you're pointing it out every time and laughing, it's a little better.
It's pretty
that
good.
could be fun.
Now, jumping ahead to issue 5, Freljord
One issue
gets
later.
sovereignty, and so Ash decides to choose a husband. It's Tryndamere.
Oh, whoa.
Their relationship has blossomed. She also appoints Nunu her ambassador, uniting...
The 8-year-old?
Yes.
Yes. And his Yeti
Sorry,
friend.
you're right.
And his Yeti friend. Uniting the Frost Archer clan, which was her clan, the Ice Dervish clan, barbarians, and Yetis together under her banner. So Tryndamere welcomed his people with open arms and an inspiring declaration. Finally, we have a voice in this land. Finally, we can be seen for what we truly are, proud and noble warriors. Finally, my brothers. Finally.
Finally.
And there's another mailbag of justice. Finally, there's another mailbag of justice here. I fear the worst will come about. Let's see. I fear the worst. Reading's hard. I fear the worst will come about should conflict arise in the Freljord between Ash and Sejuani. The presence of Tryndamere, another League champion, is both a blessing and a curse in my eyes. The presence of him and his barbarians will certainly deter the princess from trying to ignite any sort of conflict during his stay with her forces alone. However, should the princess request the help of Noxus, the barbarians' enemies, the 2 League champions will find themselves fighting on 2 fronts. And they just responded, many people share your concerns, and this situation is not being taken lightly. Ash and Tryndamere have experienced lifetimes of struggle, and they understand these dangers better than you or I could imagine. While I'm no politician, I think the potential of Sejuani seeking out an alliance with Noxus is a very real possibility. I would be surprised if Ash and Tryndamere don't have this threat in mind as they are making decisions that will determine the fate of all Freljordians. Which very much just sounds like the author saying, yeah, shut the fuck up, dumbass. We already thought of that, all right? you ain't shit. We got it.
Well, don't worry about any of it because the League of Legends exists, so nobody will ever fucking fight anybody. Don't worry about it, man.
We will... The stalwart champions of justice and integrity. And then issue 7, we got another mailbag of justice. We all know that Ash didn't choose Tryndamere out of love, but how goes the other way around? Does Tryndamere feel anything for the Frost Archer? But the bigger question, if they are king and queen, should we expect a prince anytime soon? It may not be the best time with Noxus and the third sister being so hostile, but the royal line is thin. Despite what will happen, I wish the best of luck to these newfound city-state. And their name, by the record, the person who put this question in is named Arutha the Silent Watcher, which in the context of Ash and Trynd trying to make a baby is an extra creepy name.
I want to watch him fuck. Are they going to make a prince?
Right?
Not a princess, a prince.
Do they fuck? Yeah.
The only interesting things about the response of this was, let's see, we find out that Jarvan III was married to Lady Catherine Spiritmight as a political marriage to unite the Light Shields and the Spirit Mites, which, that's a fun last name.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see.
Is this the one about Pantheon? We're coming up on that one next, right?
We are coming up on that next, yeah.
Okay. I remember this one.
Now I'm excited.
Also, there was another letter in this same mailbag of justice that said, if the Winter's Claw tribe were to join Noxus, would not Queen Ashe and King Tryndamere go to Demacia for support? If this were to happen, would the League be capable of preventing an all-out war? And at this point, we basically find out that Ashe and Tryndamere have been super critical of Demacia's neutrality while Noxus has been fighting them, which has not made a ton of friends in Demacia. And Demacia has actually, they're very separatist. They kind of close their borders to Freljordians trying to escape the Freljord too. So there's a lot of bad blood between them. So they probably will not be going to Demacia for help.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 8 is another mailbag of justice, I think, but I didn't write it, so who knows? I've heard very little of Anivia and her dealings since she came to Runeterra. Where does she stand on the current happenings in the world? And does she long for her home world?
She's a bird.
Home world. We didn't do all the Anivia lore. Is she from another?
Yeah, we weren't doing all existence. We gotta do.
She was one of those people that just got fucking ripped from the different dimension.
Yeah,
if we were to go back and redo Champions, which letter do we have to get to? Do you think?
All of them, because we got to read through Legends of Runeterra lore now. Now that that's canon.
You mean until we get? I guess you meant like till we get to like Journal of Justice.
Till we get to like where we. I guess like until we've gotten to. The deep dives that we've been doing this whole time.
Luckily, I can check my notes and tell you exactly.
At least all the A's and the B's.
I thought we talked about old Blitzcrank.
I have all my
lore.
notes from previous episodes.
Maybe we didn't.
We did talk about old Blitzcrank
but we may have
lore
talked
for
about
sure.
it in the context of Nidalee is the thing. We may not have talked about it in Blitzcrank episode.
That's true. We are going to be talking about it again in the context of this lore.
That's true.
It does come
up.
up.
That's why I thought of it.
You have a whole page left of
There's so much old
Journal of
Justice articles.
No, it's okay.
Basically, just through her friendship with Ashe, Anivia's ties to the region of Freljord have grown stronger since Ashe's marriage to Tryndamere and the formation of Freljord as a city-state. That's basically fucking it in that one. Issue 13, and this is the one that you were referencing, Mark.
This is the only
Recent
funny one.
rumors. Recent rumors spreading around Freljord claim that a tall, large warrior with a spear who appears to be Pantheon climbs up to the Queen's chamber during the night. Could this be a possible affair between the Frost Archer and the Artisan of War? If so, what could the future hold for both of them, her husband and her kingdom, if an heir is produced not of Tryndamere's blood? Some saucy tea they're spilling here. And then the response is just, these sound like the typical baseless rumors which unerringly occur after a political marriage. Queen Ashe actually spends most of her time traveling on diplomatic missions or on the fields of justice. So if such a mysterious warrior has been seen in Freljord, he would likely be climbing up to an empty bed. However, the greatest evidence that this is fiction is the fact that we all know Pantheon is perfectly capable of man dropping onto the balcony with a single leap, no climbing necessary.
Fun joke.
So there you have it.
I like even in the old lore, Ashe was constantly not at home. She was like, "Hey, turn to me. I'll see you later. I got diplomatic missions.
Right?
Peace. Shit to do." Maybe he was climbing up to Tryndamere. Maybe that's the actual twist.
Oh shit!
What a twist that would be, dude.
Couple of hard bodies. Just saying.
They break so much furniture.
So much furniture.
So much furniture. Her room would be
Homelander
destroyed.
and Stormfront.
They both fucking hate Aatrox.
Ooh.
Got a lot in common.
Yeah. New ship.
Now, issue 17, we find out that in Blitzcrank's Fleshling compatibility services, the one where he set up pairing eligibility reactors of Valoran, or PERV for short, all across the world to match people up, he takes full credit here for his technology pairing up Ashe and Tryndamere. Somehow.
It's just, you know what?
He's very confident.
Yeah.
Did your schools ever do a fundraiser where you filled out like this dating form and then they would tell you who you were most compatible with in your school?
No.
What? No, that sounds like...
I don't.
Sounds weird as hell.
Sounds
Yeah, my
fake.
school did that. Is weird, and I went to a very large high school, so odds are you got a list of people that you did not know, especially if you were a loser like me. And I wouldn't recommend it because all the guys are going to be really disappointed when you're on their list.
This sounds like a bullying tactic. Like someone lied to you
Right.
and then...
It was the year 2004, so it probably was a bullying tactic. It was a horrible time.
Now, was it your whole school or just like your grade?
I think it was our oh, that's a good question. Even so, my graduating class was like 680 something people. So like that's a lot of fucking people. And not everyone did it, like but still, I feel like I don't think I knew anyone on my list. I think most people didn't.
If we did that in my high school,
That would have been weird. Odds are you would have dated each other anyway by that point.
there's a very good chance you already would have dated the person you got matched up with.
Yeah.
And so, had all your friends. That's just how
It's really
works in
funny.
small
John's like
towns.
group of small town friends that he's still friends with. It's all like they all dated each other at some point in time, and then they all married one of them.
round and round and round they go.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of people around. Y'all had to try each other out a little bit and see what worked.
You gotta know. It's like
I'm still hung up on this dating
like-
compatibility
flight.
trivia. This is like the setup. This is like a...
I forgot about it until I was just thinking about the Fleshling Perv service or whatever the fuck it's called.
I'm pretty sure that's what they called it too, actually, when they gave it to y'all.
Fleshling Perv. Oh god, I don't remember what it was called, but it just like unlocked that memory. Yeah.
It sounds like a contrived plot to some Nickelodeon like cartoon for...
right.
Like a Netflix. Now it would be like a Netflix teen.
And somebody
rom-com.
manipulates the result so that they end up with the person they have a crush on.
Yes.
Sure.
And they do fall in love, but inevitably they find out that the results were manipulated, so there's a falling out there. Netflix, hire us. I'll write it.
Fucking add us.
They'll write it themselves. It'll probably be better.
What? Let's see. Next up, we got issue 25. During the big Jarvan Swain debacle, Tryndamere, they fought each other. Maybe Jarvan was LeBlanc. Who knows?
Who knows, right?
Tryndamere said, Jarvan has always been a bit of a hothead, but it's hard to imagine him starting the fight with stakes like these. Those two have always had a special hatred for each other, though, so if anyone would get to him, it would be Swain. And then finally, issue 28. Gragas gets the okay from Ash and Tryndamere to open a brewery in the Freljord.
Where he sexually harasses waitresses.
No, that's in Noxus.
Oh,
Yeah,
my mistake.
that's why he fled to the Freljord. Actually, Noxus didn't give a shit apparently, so he probably wouldn't even have to
not.
flee.
Also, if he arrests like a woman in the Freljord, I'm pretty sure he would die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
heard.
strong.
Yeah. They pop out your eyes and Dutch oven you. Yeah, be careful.
Oh, you gotta pay extra for that shit.
It's the Freljord special.
Oh, yes, trying to think of a name for it.
Gross. Actually, that's your kink. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kink shame you.
It's fine.
Wait, it's not yours, John. Is it? Do you want me to Dutch oven you?
No, it's
Plug
eyeball
my eyes out
popping.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I must. Anything that pleases my man.
Then we got some cinematics.
Yeah.
We mentioned a Twist of Fate.
Well, we mentioned the behind the scenes of Twist of Fate, John.
Oh yeah, sorry. So this is like an old school cinematic where it's just a bunch of champions fighting each other. This one features Demon Blade Tryndamere fighting Garen, which he rocks Garen's whole fucking world, and then gets blown away by an
This sounds
Annie-Q.
like... Oh, okay.
It was starting to sound a little sexy.
He rocked Garrett's whole fucking world and got blown away.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, yes. Another pairing.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we have Never Surrender, which was kind of truly baffling.
What is this?
To watch? This was an animated cinematic. It's a tribute to Gordon Hayward. superstar NBA small forward who also happens to play League of Legends and mains Tryndamere.
Okay.
So he got a horrific injury during one season, and the animation basically has this mirroring Tryndamere getting slapped around by Aatrox. And then he's doing physical therapy and also playing League. And I guess this is an equivalent to Tryndamere's Undying Rage. But anyway, Tryndamere rises up, ults, and slashes at Aatrox while Gordon Hayward steps back onto the court to play again.
Yo, imagine being like, that's so cool. You get hurt and like Riot makes a fucking cinematic about you and your favorite champion.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I have forgotten all about that.
It is strange. I never heard about this ever.
I remember when it came out. I guess like if that was something that genuinely helped him in that period of his life, then sure, good for him. That could be very inspiring. But I don't know. It's still, I don't know. Whatever.
It's very random.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
It's at that point where like, it was probably at the point where they're putting out a bunch of community collab animations or some shit to kind of just raise visibility or whatever.
And it's only like content creators who make League content, or like they have that one about that? Don't they have that one about that group of people who like have the most like lost streak or whatever as a group
Biggest
of five?
lost streak.
Yeah, we talked about that a few times. Yeah.
Like those feel like this makes sense. I don't even know who these people are, but I get it. But whatever.
Yeah. And we got some AUs. You guys want to learn about some AUs?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yep.
I have them open. Oh, okay. Yeah.
First up, we got Tales from the Rift, Trick or Treat.
Oh.
You better hope you have the good stuff. You know, Piltover Pops, Stride Breaker Sours, Dark Star Chocolate Bars. Because if you don't, the kids on this block have some tricks up their sleeves. All of those, for the record, sound like drugs for sure, not candy.
Well, you know, they say the drug dealers are giving your kids free drugs all the time.
That's just how it works. Just free drugs everywhere. And this is Nightmare Tryndamere, who has no lore, but is likely a Silent Hill reference.
And it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one.
It's a shame everyone plays Demon Blade.
He's really gooey.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is very, very Pyramid Head
Very
skin.
Pyramid Head, yeah.
Next up, we got Legacy. Treasures from days long past, glimmering just within reach.
Oh.
And this one is Highland Tryndamere, which has no lore.
He's going to have so many of these.
Actually, this is the only one without lore.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
I know, right?
I can't find it.
The weirdest
there it
thing
is.
about this, too, is it's Highland Tryndamere, and he has two skin lines that are part of Wonders of the World,
right?
Which just kind of are from different cultures, and this was not one of them.
This is one of the funniest splash arts that they still have, by the way.
Well, he's just like
I can't get over
It's goofy as fuck.
his sword just looks kind of like a regular big sword. Like, it doesn't look like his at all. His
sword.
face is really fantastic. I don't know what it is about it.
Well, in case you're wondering, the sword he's got in that is a Scottish Zweihander,
It's not a Claymore.
which he's
There can
wielding
only be one
one-handed, which is
Zweihander.
badass.
It looks like, I think that combined with his handout is like, he's like telling you like,
handout's
stop, like
very
don't eat that
good.
last slice of pizza. I was saving that. Like he's not like really upset. He's
Ash, no!
just kind of like, hey, man, I need that.
Yeah, like, he doesn't look too serious, almost.
Now I'm gonna get you with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
Next up, we got Ye Old, which is part of the medieval. Hark, ye knights and knaves, for these lands are under the royal protection of the king and queen. Make way, make way.
God, all of your time at the Ren Fair just prepared you for that moment.
I wasn't even using a British accent.
Oh, sorry.
Please, I spent years honing my British accent.
God.
This is King Tryndamere, a proud king who was once known only as a brutal Highland swordsman. Tryndamere rules his people as the martial protector of two great Freljordian houses, yet every day he resists the pull of an intangible evil at his back, as he has not forgotten a certain blood debt that he vowed to see repaid.
Now, this is a man who lives in a cold place.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
He's got
For sure.
furs, he's got a hat,
Yep.
got
He has
little
a
glovies.
crown.
What is a crown if not a fancy hat?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We learned
So
about
sorry.
crowns, and yeah, we've. Applying the knowledge from our previous episodes. I like it.
As our daughter Poppy would say, hat. She pats her head. She does anytime she sees a hat.
We got Ages of Runeterra.
Ugh.
Other roads. A feather knight flaps its wings, and halfway across Runeterra, an ocean drake surfaces. Our lives play out, fickle as words on parchment, the paths before us unknown and exciting. What if the road taken instead was the one less traveled? This one's Demon Blade Tryndamere. What if Tryndamere, but Demon Blade?
Yeah.
Sure.
Tryndamere's cursed blade corrupted him from a once honorable barbarian into a rampaging monster. Now, in a frenzy to sate his endless hunger, this demonic sword drives him to slay all. With each kill, another fraction of his humanity is lost and succumbing further into the demonic sword's madness.
This is what happens when the boyfriend picks up a cursed weapon by accident and everyone's telling him to get rid of it. And he's like, no, man, I got it.
This is when he's like, all right, I'm done with this nerd shit, whatever. And they're like, his character is now just, it's another new villain.
It gives me +1 of my rolls. I'm not going to get rid of it.
You gotta pass a charisma save or else you'll be possessed.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh. So, fun fact about this one. In Wild Rift, the skin was updated to have visuals that looked more like Tryndamere was being consumed by a darkened weapon, similar to Cain.
Well, I was going to
like
say,
that.
That's
cool.
I almost wish they would kind of make this something like this the current him, right? This would be a good way to bring in a new Darken. Sure, fuck it, right?
Yeah, that'd be badass. Also, this is likely a Nightmare from Soul Calibur reference.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about Soul Calibur.
Also, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this skin had an in-game trailer that was edited like a horror movie, and it was pretty hilarious.
Oh, no.
No, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. And it's like, from the mines that brought you Gentleman Cho'Gath. And like everything's like dark, and there's like a Teemo laughing, and then he spins through the wall and kills him and shit, and it's got a whole trailer for it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Also, fun fact about this, it is the first skin to have a non-humorous new VO.
Oh,
Really?
okay. That's
Okay.
really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
All the unique VOs before that were funny, haha.
Funny, huh? Like Robot Nunu and
Gentleman
Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath.
Yeah.
Just the only
Or
Cho'Gath.
Corporate Mundo.
Yeah.
Oh, Corporate
Broloff.
Mundo, yeah. Oh, Broloff was later, I think, because I was involved at that point.
No,
Involved in
Broloff was one of the early, because it was recorded at our old office.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
felt like I
was.
knew about League by the time Broloff came out.
I mean, that very
I
well
don't
could
know,
have been.
though. It's not a big deal.
That was recorded in the office that I started at
Never mind then.
before we had our own campus. We were just random ass offices in another office complex that were not connected in any way, and you'd sometimes just walk into an office because you thought it was one of ours and it wasn't, and it was real awkward. There were no
Okay,
signs
honey,
anywhere.
are you right? This is like John's like...
Sometimes a lonely player support person walks into an accounting firm.
I feel like this is your only like recurring stress stream. Instead of being back at high school, you're at this riot office.
Trying to find the player support office, which doesn't exist because we just had a closet. I had to find the right closet that we were in. Man, those early days were fucking wild, man.
All right, anyway.
Wonders of the world. Individuals hailing from the far-flung universe of Earth, where giant statues come to life and everyone is wearing a fun hat. It's a lot like Runeterra if you think about it. Viking Tryndamere. Vikings believed that death in battle was a ticket to the eternal realm of Valhalla. Tryndamere's signature ability is being unable to die. You're seeing the issue here, right?
Yeah.
Then we have Sultan Tryndamere, which is also part of this AU. Tryndamere is a ruler from a distant land, and tales of his impossible strength and distinctive mustache have reached even the farthest flung city-states. As is the rule rather than the exception with rulers from distant lands, his hat is exceptional.
It is really good.
Solid.
But someone's presenting him a crown, and he's like, nah, I can't.
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
got one?
I got
Get my
this
hat.
fun hat.
You see this?
Don't make me laugh.
You're just doing count. Which we do to Poppy all the time, because she'll go, back, and it's fantastic.
Fun fact about this, he was released in celebration of the Turkish servers launch. The skin.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got prehistoric hunters. Gargantuan monsters roam our land, stalking their prey with frightening precision. Humans would surely become their next meals, if not for the hunters. Armed with blades crafted from the bones of their first kills, with instincts that rival the most fearsome of beasts, the hunters protect their people each day from a grisly fate. This is the monster hunter, AU. This is Beast Hunter Tryndamere, sorry. Not Monster Hunter. Beast. Not to be confused with monsters. Beast Hunter Tryndamere. Tryndamere isn't the smartest beast hunter, but he is the strongest, possessing a stubborn rage that quite literally refuses to let him die. A single swing of his blade can cleave a beast's limb from its body, and he has the hunting trophies to prove it. And there's a short story around this called The Hunt Is On, where there's this dude hunting a monster, which it does say monster on this one, so, maybe before they change the name, with his crew all just gets completely wrecked. He barely survives, and he follows the monster, determined to kill it as a means of revenge. When he finds it, though, 3 other hunters, Tryndamere, Sedge, and Draven, just kind of pop out, and they easily just fucking wreck it in like 2 seconds, and then move on to their next hunt. And the dude is not thrilled. It's like, wow, I guess we suck. Well, fuck you.
He's just mad.
If you zoom on in his face, he just looks so very confused.
Yeah, he's not the smartest monster.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm not sure where I'm at.
I zoomed in on his
doing.
face right as you said, he's not the smartest monster hunter. And he's like,
how did I get here?
what am I doing?
It's escalated quickly.
Someone point me in the direction of the thing to hit.
Is it this thing? Is it the monster?
Sorry, beast?
Beast?
Like,
we got Silver Age, the Rift's greatest superheroes and most dastardly villains, available at a comic store near you. This is Chemtech Tryndamere. A monstrous experiment created by the villainous Singed, Tryndamere was irrevocably changed when he fell into a vat of volatile chemicals. Wherever Singed goes, Tryndamere follows, yet another dastardly villain battling against New Valorant's bravest heroes.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
And I don't actually know who this is supposed to be. Most of these are very clear which hero or villain they're supposed to be. I'm not sure.
I mean, falling in a vat of goo is pretty stock standard for. I just was amazed that this was not in like some alternate, like the Hex Tech, like whatever
right.
one, right? I was like, this is an easy one.
It would have made more sense. I feel like.
Well, I was trying to remember with Singed. He could have his Hex Tech skin. I guess also is in Silver Age and not or his Chemtech or whatever.
His was the Chemtech one. Although he looks like Bane in his, so that made sense. I knew who that was.
Well, no, there's. Now I got to look because there's. I'm thinking of the one where it's like, it's old and busted, and he's like got like a shitty gas mask on.
Oh, the kind of weird ass
like
hair and shit.
And
oh
shit.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry too much about it. I think that's what the.
You all lost me. I do love how there's like a Zon window. Jesus. They all have like that circle window in the back.
It does work.
That's a New Valorant window.
Valorant window. Just having a cup of eggnog.
The windows in Valorant.
The windows in Valorant.
Fuck me.
We got Moons of Ionia, Blood Moon.
He's a Blood Moon skin? God damn, I've never seen like any of these.
An ancient cult seeking irresistible power surfaces on nights of the Blood Moon to perform profane, esoteric rites, merging their flesh with demonic spirits and becoming one with an ever greater darkness. This one is Blood Moon Tryndamere. The demon Tryndamere has fully assumed control over his twinned human body, using its inhuman strength to slash gaping wounds in the veil between the human and demonic realms. Shrugging off wounds considered fatal even to other demons, His is an unstoppable, unquenchable rage that would see all things consumed by the blood moon.
Really got into that one. It was great.
Yeah, you got
Blood moon.
It's the blood moon.
It's the blood moon. Consumed by his rage. The blood moon. It's Sean's range right there.
Yeah. Next up, we got Nightbringer and Dawnbringer. Order and light reign.
Which one do you think he brings?
Dusk.
If I had
kidding,
to
I'm
guess,
The Dark Champion.
Dark.
order and light reign through deities of dawn, bringing structure to a nascent world locked in conflict with the forces of night. Chaos and darkness reign through deities of night, bringing change to a static world locked in conflict with the forces of dawn. This is Nightbringer Tryndamere. A fiendish god of rage and battle, Tryndamere embodies the moment when war descends into bloodied frenzy. Peace is anathema, but perhaps Yone's crusade presents an opportunity. After all, to Tryndamere, chaos is best when it's born of order's decay.
Yeah.
Finally, we got Warring Kingdoms. 3 great empires vie for land and power, bringing their all to bear in a test of martial might. Armies will clash, heroes will rise, legends will be made. This is Warring Kingdoms Tryndamere. Tryndamere is a grand general of the Warring Kingdoms, so deadly and so feared, it is said he is the god of war incarnate. Truly a spectacle to behold. It would take 1,000 men to kill him in battle, and 1,000 more to keep him dead.
Yeah.
There's just
like
an
it.
arrow through him here.
Yeah.
Like he's just hanging out with
know.
an arrow pierced through
That's
him.
how he do.
That's pretty. I kind
And
of
it went
like
through
it.
his whole body. It must be a long arrow.
The big arrow.
The big old arrow.
Big ol' arrow.
Pretty good. I like it.
I got a few fun facts here. You want to learn some fun facts about Tryndamere?
Sure.
I do.
So first of all, he's voiced by Brian Summer. His Demon Blade Skin, Legends of Runeterra counterpart, and pre-rework Warwick and Willump are voiced by the same voice actor.
Neat.
He's a busy guy. Tryndamere, in case you didn't know this, was named after Riot Games' old CEO, Mark Tryndamere Merrill. It was his EverQuest character, and also his form and summoner name.
And, Ash was his wife.
And Ash was his wife.
Yeah.
Or is his wife.
Is his
Yeah,
wife,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They just added an E at the end, and they're like, that's a league champion now.
Sure. Fuck it.
I have a fun fact about Mark Merrill and Tryndamere. So when we were running the shadowing program in player support, everyone in the company had to kind of spend some time doing player support tickets, so they kind of knew what it was like and got a firsthand feeling of player pain. Which at the time that Mark and Brandon were doing it, a solid 80% of our tickets were refund requests. I mean, a big part of the reason we did the program in the first place was raise visibility of this so that we could get dev resources to fix the problem, which worked, for the record. But so Mark Merrill was handling a ticket, and it was a refund request for Tryndamere. He deadass refused to do this refund for the player. He basically told them to get good.
Was the player like, this champion's too hard?
I don't even remember. I think I bought it, and he's not as good as I wanted him to be, or some shit like that. But yeah,
That's fucking. I kind of love it. I will say it would have been really cool to be like, you got it personally refunded by Tryndamere. But it's even more fun to be like, no, go back, you go play some more ranked games with Tryndamere, and then you come back and talk to me. He's a good champion, okay? Let's get that clear.
He's very handsome
He's
and tall.
good at sports.
Good at sports. He has a beautiful wife who loves him.
Yeah, she's out of town a lot. It's fine.
We're loyal.
3-page
And my dad is
screed.
proud.
Oh my god, that's great. That's slander. You're gonna get sued for slander.
There was an in-game announcer that heard that Tryndamere was made directly from a picture of Mark Merrill wearing a kilt and nothing else. And I don't know where exactly this announcer VO is, but it existed at some point.
Okay. What?
Probably not around anymore, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Tryndamere's dance references the Hopak, the traditional Cossack dance, and his patch 100122 dance references Bye 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 by NSYNC, which he used to share with Garen before they both got reworked.
Why would they change?
Bye Bye Bye, indeed. I'm doing it under the camera.
That was You'll have to watch the video of this on YouTube to see the saddest Bye 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 I've ever seen. Tryndamere was the first manaless champion released.
Manaless?
No mana. Manaless.
Manaless. I thought you said manaless, like a man analyst or something. I was so confused. You heard that too?
I knew exactly what you meant. There's something about the way you said it. Yeah,
it sounded like manalist. An Alrabus. Fuck. All right.
Yeah. He was also the first champion to utilize Fury, and the first with 100 points in attack rating, which, if you know the old champion ratings would have like a number based on attack, magic, defense.
Oh my god. I forgot about
handsomeness, tallness. He was also the first one to get hundreds in those too,
yeah. And finally, with his spinning slash ability, Tryndamere is one of only 4 champions in the game to have only a single damaging ability.
Oh.
The others being Zillion with Time Bomb,
yeah.
reworked Tarek with Dazzle, and Bard with Cosmic Binding.
Yeah. Interesting.
God.
Now, you could make the case that Master Yi and reworked Shen also count with Alpha Strike and Shadow Dash because, Wuju Style and Twilight Assault are on hit boosts, but that's splitting hairs.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't.
My ends are already split. We don't need to keep doing that.
Oh, you and me both. I need to get a trim.
Right.
But that's Tryndamere.
Yeah.
That's all, folks. Any final thoughts on Tryndamere?
He's mad.
He's very mad about things.
He's a lad.
He's mad. He's a lad, and he's handsome as hell. It's Tryndamere.
That's the way they announced him. I did say in the Trundle episode, he's in Runeterra. There's not much going on, but there is this one troll card called Tarkaz the Tribeless, who all the other trolls seem to not like, and who Tryndamere seems to be on speaking terms with, and they kind of get along. And I think that would be a really fun thing to help bring him to life a little, would be to give him this big 8-foot-tall troll friend that he kind of bros it up with.
That's
I don't
great.
know, like a way to get his anger
that.
out or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they just fight each other. Yeah.
That'd be so good.
Yeah,
Little fight club.
Yeah, maybe that would help kind of alleviate some of the weirdness of him like being so angry all the time with Ash. It's like me and Tarkaz just need a minute, and then he comes back and he's like, "It's cool." It's good.
And Ash is like not entirely sure what they're doing.
It makes him happy, and he's not an asshole to be around. So everyone's
fine.
good.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Well, that was Tryndamere. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitter. It's at Loreheads, and a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams on Saturdays. He's the TFT and A-Rams with viewers, and I stream on Mondays. We do Summoner's Rift together and get sad and angry and then happy sometimes.
Sometimes.
John's also going to be doing some Songs of Nunu starting tonight, which, you'll get to watch the VOD after this is out. But I don't know. Are you going to stream all of Songs of Nunu or just parts of
I would
it?
like to.
You'd like to? Okay. Well, we'll see. And we have a YouTube. We post clips of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're all
really
fucking
running out of,
losing it today.
Right,
I don't know
gas.
what's happening. We really did. And there's the full episodes, videos, and we're doing some reaction content, which is getting more attention than we anticipated by people who have no idea what our podcast is, and they just come to correct us about music.
I will say we get maybe an average of like 50 views on our videos, and then we put out the
Heart Steel reaction,
which is sitting at like 13,000 right now
as of today,
and everyone is just requesting non-league reactions from us now.
Yeah, we're like, we don't know, we're not a reaction channel. I'm so sorry. Could you not tell by our reactions?
We're not good at it.
We don't know what we're
Just sit there,
doing.
like, look at the video. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we're just kind of sitting there. Like, And then we did talk during it once, and then some guy got mad at us for talking over the video. So you know what? I don't know what people want. I'm just going to do what my heart tells me.
My heart steel tells me.
We have a Discord if you want to find some people to play League with and have chats and share weird memes that I don't understand because I'm too old. You can join the Discord. And we have a Patreon. We got to get together soon and come up with some more Patreon content because it's been a little while. But we did review 2 Super Mario Brothers movies if you ever want to hop on over there. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mr. Dead, Big Man Gnomes, King of Hearts, Hi John, and my cabbages.
Oh, so dramatic.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
If you were being attacked by Tryndamere, who was in a blood rage, I would steal Brahm's shield just to protect you.
I think Brahm would lend it to you, honey.
Yeah, but I'd steal it because
Oh,
I
okay.
have maxed out sleight of hand.
Okay,
So
that's nice. I like it.
yeah.
Well, please be sure to join us next week while we talk about The Card Master, Twisted Fate.
Well, fuck.